What up, what up? It's another edition of story time. And since we are sticking to the martial arts theme for this page, which I just recently decided to do that. And the reason for that is because even when I'm doing art, my art is martial arts based or fighting based, which is pretty much the same thing. And the algorithm, it seems to move, and I say move because I'm not popular at all, but it seems to be favoring, me sparring, me, talking about martial arts or boxing, stuff like that, right? So I figured, might as well do that. And it's not just that I'm, like I said, I think I said it in the last video, it's not just because that's what people want, or that's what the algorithm is deciding for me. It's not that, it's that I'm already a fan of fighting, a fan of martial arts, and I'm already practicing it in my own way, but I'm already in it. So I figured I might as well continue this channel in it, and I have some stuff planned for the future concerning sparring, and maybe getting some fights in and stuff like that. But for now, I want to talk about a defining moment in my martial arts journey that allowed me to be where I'm at today. And it is true that your past should not determine your present or your future, or rather, you shouldn't be stuck in the past. But we cannot deny that it is connected. It's connected, and what happened in the past does determine sometimes some aspects of it. But is it going to stifle me or stop me in any kind of way? Absolutely not. You gotta live in the moment. And it's something that martial arts, teaches, and many ways. And that's what martial arts has taught me. And the tail doesn't wag the dog, as they say. So basically, it's a way of saying, no matter how bad your past was or where you came from, you should always strive to better yourself and to live in the now, or stuff like that. So, having said that, there is a moment in the past that happened to me that that allowed me to see things more clearly and allowed me to change my martial arts in a way that bettered them. Now, before I discovered boxing, and note that I never joined any boxing gym, but I was taught by a boxer. Most of the stuff that I know, some of the stuff I researched. So I'm gonna say this is the story of that, and how that happened, and how this made me better, and how I recommend anybody with a traditional martial arts background that involves striking. I recommend that you do boxing, and you at least study boxing, the fundamentals of boxing, your true boxer stance, and stuff like this is going to help you be a better martial artist, and set up your kicks better, set up all of that sweet stuff that you want to do with your hands, with your kicks, all of the fancy footwork that you see. It's all made better by footwork, by boxing footwork, right? Now, the old school karate people, they used to know stuff like this. You know, I think I forget who was. There was a certain master, right? And really, if you think about it, in karate, you know, they start with, in every martial arts, they start with the stance. You know, but from my experience, when I joined a Taekwondo school in Mexico, they kind of went over footwork or foot placement or your stance, but they didn't. How can I say that? They didn't stay on it for that long. They just kind of grazed over it and they moved on to the kicks and the good stuff. You know, what we believe to be the good stuff, which is the strikes, the kicks, stuff like that. But in boxing, it wasn't that way. In boxing, you know, when I first started boxing, I realized the importance of balance and the importance of picking your shots and making the shots that you shoot count, you know, in the right spot, right? So let me go ahead and talk about that experience, because there's a story time. I think it's going to be anyways. And I was around 18 or 19. And I had just come back from Mexico, and I had, you know, spent a lot of time with Taekwondo instructors. And, you know, at the time that I was over there, you know, practicing, having a couple of Taekwondo schools, in my mind, you know, a person with kicks was better than a person with no kicks, which is a boxer, because we had more weapons to our availability, right? And that was my mentality. We have feet, we have hands, and you know, and that's why Taekwondo is superior, because we have more weapons. And I used to look at boxing as inferior to Taekwondo or to any type of martial arts that involved kicks, simply because of the fact that that, like I said, we had more stuff to use. We had the kicks, we had the punches, you know, and I thought that was my mentality for a long time. And even coming back from Mexico studying Taekwondo, I still believe that. And if you want to know a little bit about how I got started and stuff, or a little bit of my history with martial arts, you know, you should check out that other video. I'm trying to link it below. So what happened, right? So basically, you already know where this is going, right? I came back, right? I still doing sparring, you know. I found if you like it, this is the thing. If you like something, you're going to find a way to do it. You know, me with very little experience in Taekwondo, I found a way to spar in Mexico, and I found a way to spar here. Even before I had met the club that I talked about in the other video, the martial arts club, I found a way to spar people. Right? And I saw a boxing guy, you know, training in a park. You know, I was doing my exercises, and I saw a guy training in the park, and I saw he was a boxer. And I was like, you know, what a chance to prove that my Taekwondo style, you know, is better than you know, this boxing style. And so this guy was a good boxer. I mean, because if you think about it, I had reach over him, but not really, because I was shorter than him. But if you have legs, you know, your distance, and the way I was thinking is my distance, my ability to strike him is better because I have the longer limbs, which is my feet, right? So it wasn't a challenge in so much as it was, you know, a sparring session, because in my mind, that's the way I saw it. I saw it as you know, a chance to test my skills, or to test my belief. So I went up to the guy and I was like, oh, you know, I like what is it that you're doing? It's like, oh, shadow boxing. And I was like, oh, that's nice. do you want to spar? And he was like, yeah, sure. But I was like, is it okay? Because I knew Taekwondo is okay that if I do at least one round with my kicks. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. As long as we do one round at least, me using my hands. And I was like, that's fine. We do 3, we do 4, we do 2 your way, and we do 2 my way, and we'll take it from there, right? So we start the first round, and the first 2 rounds it was just gonna be hands, right? And this guy was really hard to hit. Even though he was standing right in front of me, I couldn't get him. And I was throwing my punches. I was faster than him, but he was just out of reach, within reach, but out of reach. And I was realizing, dude, there's something going on here that I'm not seeing. There's something here that I'm not understanding. He knows something that I don't. Because I'm over here jumping around doing my Taekwondo thing with the little bouncy stuff, and I'm trying to hit him. I can't hit him. And so he beat me in a way that made me want to learn what he knows. So I took a couple of lessons from him, and what I found out is that what they work on a lot is mainly balance and choosing your shots, your punches in a way that they're coming from a balanced position. They're not coming from from any angle. They're not just attacking. They're not just attacking you straight on. Like in Taekwondo, you're just going in and out from the same position. Some people do teach a little bit slanted stuff, but in boxing, they go down to the minute details of footwork, into where the point where you're almost never off balance. If you do it right, you're almost never off balance. When the engagement happens, they're in control. And this is something that I realized, and I tried to learn from this guy. And I mean, he gave me some lessons, mainly working on the jab, and some conditioning, mainly working on throwing punches. But other than that, I didn't learn much from them. The rest of it, I had to learn myself. I had to research it myself. When you go to a boxing gym, boxing instructors don't spend much time with you, trying to teach you. Especially if they feel like you're not going to be making any money, you're not going to be boxing professionally, if you don't have in their eyes any talent, or if you have a handicap that may seem like it may prevent you from making any money, they don't spend any time with you. So I was taught the basics. But with the basics, I was able to be more hungry to learn more about boxing. And the best way to learn is, through sparring, and through film studying, different boxers legendary boxers that have existed at the time. And this is basically what I was doing during this whole time, until now. I'm still studying boxing. And I'm still studying ways of becoming a better martial artist. Now, to most people, when something like this happens to them, when they get beaten in this way, they change up their whole game. And a lot of people, I've seen videos of people that say, this martial art sucks, and I used to do it, and I don't do it no more because it's useless. That's not what happened to me. What happened to me was, I saw this, and I didn't say, in my mind, I wasn't thinking, Taekwondo sucks. In my mind, I was thinking, this guy is doing subtle things that's, first of all, it's throwing me off. Because he's right in front of me, but for some reason, I'm not able to attack it. The way he's moving towards me, or side to side, it's making me want to not engage for something. And this is something people don't understand. Sometimes your stance, the way you stand in front of somebody, it throws them off. You know, that's people say, you know, oh, this fighter did this and that to this other fighter, but when he faced, you know, this other fighter, he didn't do all the other stuff. You know, the reason for that is because there's scales and there's levels to it. Some people know certain ways to nullify your punches, you know, to make your punches go down. And part of it starts with the stance. Part of it starts with the foot placement according to your opponents. You know, just with that alone, that alone can start to nullify, you know, certain fighters. And then you start in the fact that you start pot shotting them, then you start to eliminate their jab and establishing your jab. And this is the mentality that I picked up from boxing. You know,
there you go.
And that's what I did. I started to add the kicks to the same footwork that I was learning from boxing, that I was researching from boxing, and I started to add it to the stuff that I already knew from Taekwondo and Kempo and all of these other moves. And it made my game better. And I would never say something, you know, like Taekwondo is useless, or, you know, and that's the thing, that you got to be humble, right? You got to be open-minded, and, you know, and stay growing within the art. And the way he beat me, the guy didn't even hurt me. He just caught me off balance with a couple of shots to the chest area, and I ended up falling. You see, and that's the other thing that I realized, you know, I'm off balance every time I engage. Every time I engage this guy, I'm off balance and he's in balance. Every time. So that means that I have to work on my balance. Because I'm on he's knocking me down. He's not hurting me, but he's knocking me down through his balance, bro. and that's the beauty of it, was that I didn't get hurt. That I learned from it. You know, it's similar to the way Canelo lost to Mayweather, and that's why Mayweather learned so much. I mean, Canelo learned so much from that fight, was because, you know, he got beat, but he didn't get beat up. You know, sometimes when you get beat up too hard, you know, you get concussed and stuff, you start forgetting the stuff that you learned in the fight or whatever. And the same thing happened to me. You know, I was better for that loss, and I became, in my opinion, a much better martial artist. And I have boxing to thank for that. And like I said, I recommend, you know, all of you traditional martial artists, you know, to give it a try, man. Give boxing a try. They have so much footwork in boxing. They have so many styles in boxing, that they pretty much cover, in my opinion, every martial arts stance ever created, in my opinion, because they focus mainly on, you know, footwork. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it for today. And like I said, it is a recommendation, but at the end of the day, man, you're gonna do whatever you want to do. Staying humble is definitely, you know, something you have to do as a martial artist, to build character and to continue to grow. So, my experience. If you like this, please, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay.